bulletin boards offer nothing. The classrooms are empty. Even the library place you deem perfect to hide evidence has nothing to offer. There are no answers here. You sigh, shoving your hands into your pocket as you beg. Well, that was a waste of time. Joe huffs a small laugh, tilting his head as he looks at you. What a total waste. I remember something, didn't I? You glance at him, his expression is lighter than before, a small smile playing at the edges of his lips. There's nothing most helpful in it, like remembering something, even something as subtle as a college major means something. You roll your eyes. Don't argue. Yeah. Good for you, Ghost Boy. At least one of you had answers. Joe laughs again, softly this time, shaking his head as he follows you towards the entrance. You step into the street, your feet making no sound on the pavement. The air is crisp and cool. The street's lights flicker softly at night. Of course, something throws off again. You slow your steps, waiting for the familiar pull. Invisible, he's dragging you back whenever you stray too far from Ethan. It's been there since you woke up, like this, tethering you to him, keeping you close. But now, it's gone. You stop completely, yawning to take another step forward, testing it. Nothing pulls you back. You go further past the sidewalk, past the edge of where you know you've been able to go. Still nothing, no resistance, no unseen force backing you back towards the door. Wait, what the H? O stops beside you, his brows furrowing as he looks at you confused. What? You motion around, stepping even further to prove your point. I'm not stuck. I can go wherever I want. That's not how it worked. Those expressions shifts. Something thoughtful, creepy, and just hidden. Watching you take a few more steps, still standing by whatever force tying you to Ethan. Before, you were stuck before a light. You couldn't leave. Yeah, every time I wander too far, I get pulled back like I was tied to him. You scowl at the thought, crossing your arms. You hate the idea that you were ever stuck with him, that even in death, he had some kind of hold on you. But now it's different. You can move freely. That's weird. I never had that issue. I could always come and go. Weird. I was always stuck. You meet those gaze, searching for an answer. His expression, why isn't that happening now? Joe looks down, rubbing the back of his neck. He doesn't answer right away. His brow knit together. Deep wait, watching him as his fingers twitch against his sleeves, as his lips press into a thin line. Then after a long pause, he exhales slowly, his voice quieter when he finally speaks. Maybe because we're together. You blink at him. What? He looks up again, meeting your gaze, his expression unreadable. There is no hesitation this time, just quiet certainty. Maybe it's because we're both connected to him in some way. I mean, you nod slowly, the unbreakable chain between you, the constant pull forcing you back to him. But now Joe is there, like in the visible sense. So what do you saying? We cancel each other out or something? Joe lets out a small chuckle, shaking his head. Not exactly, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe our connection to him balances things out. You force us pulling in different directions instead of just one. You roll your eyes, exhaling sharply. That's the nerdiest way you could have explained that. Bill grins. Journalism made you remember. I have to sound smart sometimes. Bill watches you a sense as anything does when you're dead and trying to solve your own murder. He shifts slightly, and still in his pocket, shoulders slightly hunched like he's bracing for you. You dismiss the theory entirely. You huff, shaking your head, but you don't argue because, as ridiculous as it sounds, it makes sense. You're both connected to Ethan, but you have some kind of unfinished story tied to him. You don't overthink it. You just nod. Ridiculous as it is, it doesn't make sense. The connection to Ethan and the way things have shifted all line up, or at least as much as anything in the afterlife does. This makes sense. Bill watches you for a second, expecting more from the argument, but when you don't add anything else, he also nods, relaxing slightly. Yeah. You glance back at the streets, staring at the wide open path ahead, the possibilities stretching further than ever. You could leave now, you could go anywhere. You're not chained anymore. Or you don't leave, neither of you do. Then the glow catches your eyes. It's initially subtle, just the faint silver of warm color creeping up behind the skyline, soft coating you, bleeding into the deep purples and blues of the night, the first hint of sunrise. Doe sees it too. He tilts his head, watching as the sky changes way. The edges of the clouds begin to glow. He stares, his lips parting slightly, some things unreadable flickering across his face. The sunrise. You glance at him. Haven't seen one in a while. Will lets out a breath of a laugh, shaking his head slightly. Not like this. He frowns slightly, about to ask what he means, but before you can, expression shift. His posture straightens somewhat, his gaze flickering away from the sky and back towards the direction of the dorms. His smile fades, his voice returning more focused. We should return before Ethan wakes up. You don't want him getting suspicious. Besides, you need to watch him and figure out what the H is going on. You don't want him getting suspicious. Besides, you still need to watch him and understand what the H is going on. Yeah, let's go. The two of you turn, retracing your steps back toward the doors. The streets are still empty, and the quietness of early morning is strangely eerie. It's a time most people don't see. Night too early for the morning. The dorm building comes into view, its windows reflecting the slow sunrise. Still half asleep, much like the students inside. You're about to step through the door when movement catches your eyes. A figure dressed in all black, moving carefully and slowly, floating as if trying not to be seen. Stop immediately, your breath still in ears anymore. Don't follow your gaze. Eyes narrowing slightly as he registers the person's leaving the dorm. Who's that? The figure doesn't look back. Given the time, you haven't gotten much of it told or so. You're forced to brush it off and to continue to Ethan's room. He's already stirring more than usual. He moves slowly, but can't go like. His mind is somewhere else entirely as he gets out of bed, grabs his legs, and heads out of the door. You window follow. His routine now, following Ethan through the motions of his day, watching how he carries himself, searching for something out of place. But today, you've noticed something. Ethan is tense, not in the same way as before, not the usual cold, controlled, careful way. He holds himself together. This is different. His shoulders are tight, his steps a little too fast. His head's turning slightly occasionally, like he's checking something, like he's looking for something, or like he's looking at something. At first you smirk. arms crossed as you keep knees beside him. Man, you must be healing to him. Bill raises an eyebrow, glancing at you. What do you mean? Look at him. He keeps checking over his shoulder. Ethan does it again. You watch him closely, grinning as you step closer, meaning as if he can hear you. What's wrong? Ethan, I'm not commenting you enough. Nothing. No reaction, of course. Not instead. He just keeps moving, and then the more you watch him, the more something strange catches your eye. He's looking at you. You frown, tilting your head slightly. He checks over your shoulders again, and you follow the movement, expecting him to stare at the space you're taking up, where he knows you are, but his gaze doesn't land there. It doesn't land on dough either. Ethan is looking past both of you. Your stomach twists slightly, but you don't know why. Something is about it makes the back of your mind itch. Makes your skin know whatever you have left crawl. Who didn't see that? His voice is quieter than before, more serious. You nod slowly, smirk, dropping. As your arms fall to, yeah. Both go silent, arching Ethan's moves. You campus over the course, with hours going through, presence and passing by. Groups of students, all of them oblivious to what the age is going on with him. He keeps checking. He keeps looking past you, glancing over his shoulders, scanning for something neither of you can see. He's afraid, but not of either of you. You exchange a glance with Dill. His face is readable, but you know he's thinking the same thing. Weird. Dill nods slowly, his lips passing together into a thin line. Yeah, weird. Eventually, the sun sinks below the skyline, painting the city in a deep oranges and purples. Long days come to a close, and Ethan finally hit back to his ground. He's still almost tight, still looking over his shoulder. It's strange, watching him go through his not letting you to act like nothing is wrong when everything is wrong. No one's noticed the tension in your shoulders because as Ethan finally settles into his bed, his voice cuts through the silence, calms and easy. You look like you're about to combust. You scarf crossing your arms. Gee, thanks. Bill smirks but doesn't push it. He just leans back against the wall, thoughtful, watching you like he's trying to read something in your expression. So, what's the next move? You hesitate, shifting your weight. That's the problem. You don't know. You've been following Ethan, waiting for something to happen, waiting for some massive reveal. But now things are more complicated than ever. You're free from your tether to him, but you're still here, dozed, starting to remember things, but only in pieces. And Ethan is scared of something that isn't you, jealous much. You run a hand down your face before sighing frustration curling your chest. I have no idea. No homes. Tilting his head slightly. Maybe that's the problem. You frown looking at him. He doesn't say anything right away. He just watches you thoughtfully, patient, and he's waiting for you to catch up when you don't. He exhales, straightening up. You're stressing yourself out. You raise an eyebrow at him. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to be pissed off about being murdered. Bill chuckles softly, shaking his head. You know, that's not what I mean. You glare, waiting for him to get to the point. He gestures towards the door, the campus outside, and anything that isn't this cramped, suffocating dorm. Come on, let's go somewhere. Clear our heads. You blink. That was not what you were expecting. You were expecting some profound revelation or realization, but instead, he just wants to take a break. You open your mouth ready to argue, ready to say that you don't have time for this, but then you realize something. You are tense. Your fists have been clenched for hours. Your mind keeps circling the same dang thought over and over and over, like it's eating itself alive. Been running at full speed toward answers, but still haven't found them. Doe may have a point. You have rolled your eyes, but you don't argue. Instead, you shove your hands in your pockets, exhaling slowly. Fine. Where to, ghost boy? How about the park? You snort. That's your big idea? You want to go sit on a bench and feed pigeons or something? Doe grins. Well, you seem to like you need something to hit, so maybe you just fight a tree instead. You roll your eyes, but you don't argue. A park sounds nice. Open space, quiet. A chance to stop suffocating in Ethan's though for 5 minutes. You tilt your head towards the door. Fine, let's go. Go nods. You both head out, slipping through the door with ease. But the second you do, you stop. There's someone outside Ethan's room. Figure dressed in black punched near the door at first. You think maybe it's some idiot trying to break in and steal something, but then you realize they're not trying to get in. They are peering through the keyhole, whispering something under their breath, low and urgent. You and Noah both freeze. Your eyes narrow, you both instinctively tensing. What the H? Doe shifts beside you, his expression sharp, watching the figure closely. What are they saying? You try to listen, straining to catch out any word, but it's too soft, just barely out of reach. But the tone is low and fast, not like something trying to cast a spell or any ridiculous, but something desperate. Someone's talking to themselves, repeating something over and over. Their head snaps up. You feel your stomach drop. They stop whispering and slowly, carefully turn their heads toward the hallway. But there's nothing to see. You and Doe are invisible, unseen, unheard. And yet, their figure hesitates. Then without a word, they bolt. They disappear down the hall, moving quickly, silent footsteps fading. You and Doe stare after them, the thick silence settling between you. Okay, that wasn't creepy at all. Doe exhales, shaking his head slightly. Should we follow them? You consider it. You really consider it, but then you glance back at Ethan's room. You don't know what that person was doing, but it wasn't good. Still, you can't tell if facing them right now will get you closer to the necessary answers. You have already decided to take a break, and honestly, you still need it. You let out a breath, shaking your head. No, let's stick to the plan. We can't deal with this later. Joe doesn't argue, he just nods, glancing at the hallway before the two of you slip outside. The air is crisp, the world wide open. You let yourself enjoy the freedom even if it won't last. The city stretches behind you, but in the quiet of the park, it feels like another world entirely. The sound of distant traffic fades into nothing. The soft, rustling trees replace the constant hum of urban life. Bill walks a little slower, his shoulders looser than before. You hop up onto the fountain stone edge, balancing with your arms stretched out like a tightrope walker. You think I could still fall in? Doe glances up at you, his brows raising slightly in amusement. That depends. Do ghosts have balance? Guess we're about to find out. Push his ass. You take an exaggerated step forward, pretending to stumble for a moment. You think you might tip forward, that maybe gravity still has a hold on you, but nothing happens. Your body isn't yours anymore. The world doesn't touch you the way it used to. You don't make waves, you don't make a sound, you don't make an impact. But Doe laughs anyway. It's soft at first, just a tiny chuckle under his breath, but then it becomes more fundamental. You glance over at him and he's smiling, really smiling. That soft, careful expression you've seen before, not like he is trying to comfort you or watching his words. This is different, it's easy. Unrestrained. You step down from the fountain edge, stretching your arms behind your head before flopping to a nearby bench, staring at the sky. Man, I almost forgot what it was like to just chill. Ohum stepping close before sitting down at the opposite end of the bench. He leans back, eyes half lidded, watching the tree branches sway overhead. Yeah, it's nice. There's a long pause, a comfortable one. You almost let yourself sink into it. Almost just so forget what you are, what happened, and everything keeping you tied to this place. Then Doe exhales slowly, and you gaze at him. His expression has shifted again. He's thinking. You can tell his gaze is distant, focused on something that isn't here. You hesitate. The part of you wants to ask him about it. What do you remember? But another part of you doesn't. Not yet. Not when this moment still feels light. You don't want to ruin it just yet. So instead you smirk, tilting your head toward him. I didn't peg you for the type who enjoys sitting around in a park. No blinks. Pulled from his thoughts, he raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah, what type did you pick me for? I don't know. You've got that whole, I think, too much energy. I figured if I saw you in a park, you would be one of those guys writing in a journal or drinking some overpriced coffee, contemplating life, or some shiz. What's wrong with sipping coffee? What's wrong with journaling? Get off his ass. Doe lets out a surprised laugh, shaking his head. Okay, first of all, ouch. Second of all, that's not that far off. You grin as he shakes his head again, more amused than offended. He leans back against the bench, stretching his arms slightly before resting them behind his head. But for the record, my coffee was never overpriced. I worked at a supermarket. It has its benefits. So you admit you had a journal. Joe huffs, rolling his eyes. Maybe. You chuckle, shaking your head as you stretch across the bench, letting your fingers ghost over the surface. Ironic. Joe must catch something in your expression because he shifts slightly, observing you. Do you ever think about what it felt like before? Glance at him, frowning slightly. Before. Donut's looking down at his hands, fingers flexing slightly, like he was trying to remember what it was like to hold something. I don't know, just existing, feeling things. I try to remember what the sun felt on my skin, but it's weird. It's like I know it was warm, but I don't actually remember the feeling. His voice is quiet, almost absent-minded. You stare at him momentarily, then let out a slow breath. Yeah, I get that. You glance up at the sky again. Strange how the world keeps moving. Without you, the way the sun still rises, the wind still moves, and the city still breathes. Like nothing ever changes. Like you were never even here. Those just beside you. Voice softer, and he speaks again. What do you think we're supposed to do? You turn your head toward him. Supposed to hurt him, or bring him to justice, or just let him go. That makes you pause. Let go. You don't know. You haven't even let yourself think about it.